This is Bunga. This is Izzati. Is this thing on? It's on!
It's on! Hey guys! Today we're so excited to be featured in this video to talk about UX writing! Yay! Bunga here is the UX writer for GoFood, and I'm Izzati, UX writer for transport and logistics, including our Drivers app.
Yeah, so we bet you're wondering, right, what are UX writers doing in this video? Where is UX writing in the app? So as soon as you open Gojek, there are these writings that you may not realize are there, but there's pieces of text that guide you to use the app, and that's basically copywriting applied to user experience, and we are the people behind that.
Yes, and the purpose of UX writing itself is simply to make sure that you as users, or us as users, can have the greatest overall delightful experience when you use an app. We as UX writers help in the communication of any given information with business goals and certain problems in mind so that users can have the smoothest, best experience as they interact with our app.
Yeah, not to forget space limitation.
That's right.
One of the challenges of UX writing is that there's only very limited space you can fit in copy.
That's right, like tiny spaces, and that's the challenge where
Yeah.
you have to come up with the most creative copy, but at the same time cater to the business goals, like the objectives of the product.
So we work hand in hand with product designers, interaction designers, illustrators, product managers, engineers, basically anyone who wants to launch or develop a product feature or enhancement.
Yep, and now that I think we've covered basically the basic things about UX, we're going to talk about it in details now. So let's get to the next fun part.
UX writing 101.
So there are 3 basic UX writing principles that we always have to remember when you're writing copy for an app, or I think copywriting in general. The first is clear, concise, and straightforward. These 3 things are what makes UX writing can look very easy, effortless even, like to the point where it may get you to think, oh, you don't need a writer to do that. But these 3 things are actually what makes UX writing really challenging, but at the same time fun.
Yeah, because we don't just stop there. We also have to make sure that copy that we write is actually helpful to users. So we should always keep in mind what users think, put ourselves in users' shoes, and consider things like how would they feel if they read a certain copy in a certain scenario? What would they think? Would they know immediately what to do next?
Yep. And the next important thing, other than clear, concise, straightforward, and the next thing is helpful, the other important thing is that we need to make sure to put voice and personality to the copy. Because with certain nuances, that would differentiate your app from the other app.
It's like sprinkling personality.
Yep. That makes Gojek, for example, that makes your app different from the others. But another thing to remember is that copy can't just be conversation written down, simply conversations. You can't just write like a simple, casual, fun, cool copy and then call it a day. No, remember that voice and personality also needs to stay consistent throughout the entire app.
Oh, this is it. Yeah. I think enough with conceptual, abstract talk. Let's get to some real cases and real examples on the Gojek app. So there are these different states or scenarios in the app, and say we're rolling out a new feature and it's the first time you see it. There will be something like this, an onboarding message. So say for the feature of sharing a restaurant profile on GoFood.
Yep.
In the title we say, share the restos you like. It's straightforward. It's quick and easy to understand what the feature is about. And then in the subheading we say sharing, because happiness is as simple as getting good food right. So it's relatable, and it's true, right? That happiness is as simple as it's already familiar lingo, and we get the users excited about using this feature, and it fits the character count. So
Yay.
it's checking off all those boxes.
All right, for the second example, we'll be talking about error message. So I think we're all familiar with the 404 error not found error message we find in, say, web pages, or the Twitter overcapacity message with that whale being carried by birds. It's bold to assume that everyone here uses Twitter.
Yeah.
So basically, like from the simple way I understand it as an amateur myself, when something that should work does not, an app or a web page or everything will show you an error message, right? And this is one of our error messages in Gojek app. It is when a driver canceled your order, right? And we all know we've been there before, I think, and it's not a nice feeling, right? Especially when you're in a rush, when you need to be at some place, you need to be at dinner with your parents and everything. It's not a nice feeling. And there are so many things this state can go wrong, but in Gojek, we incorporate that clear, concise, and straightforward, helpful with the personality to craft this message saying that, hey, you got canceled and you need to order a driver again, but saying it in a way that as if we're a friend talking to a heartbroken friend to, move on and find a new one. So that's why we say here, ya belum jodoh, driver batal mengambil pesanan. It's like we're saying, oh, it's not meant to be, but hey, it's okay. Let's move on and find you another love. Just kidding, another driver. So that's how we put that whole clear, concise, straightforward, and voice personality thing into our error message.
So we got an onboarding message, an error message, and lastly, our example is of a state where when users are waiting for something or in the process of something, like when they're waiting for a driver, like there's this sense of relief, right? When you just found a driver. So in a state where we inform users that they've reached completion of something or that something is a success, it's called a success message. And right here, you say, woohoo, driver found, to capture that excitement or a celebration, if you will, that they finally found a driver when they're rushing somewhere, wherever they're heading to, right?
Yep.
And in Indonesian, it's, woohoo, I dapat driver, so it's like, we're right there with you in celebration of getting a driver.
Yes.
Yes. So to recap, we have 3 basic principles of UX writing: clear, concise, straightforward, and then helpful and personality. So be sure to remember those.
Yep, and the best way to be great at it is by practicing. So start practicing with things around you, the way you communicate with your friends, or say your Instagram caption or your tweets, keep them under a certain amount of characters to practice that concise part.
Yeah. If you have any questions, leave us comments in the section below.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe this YouTube channel, and catch us on around our social medias, Live at Gojek, or whatever that username will be, Live at Gojek and Gojek UX on Instagram.
Yeah, and we're hiring. So if you want to be doing the work that we mentioned earlier and be a part of our team, send your CV, say hi, drop us an email at here. So,
Thanks for watching!
Bye-bye.
See ya!
Yeah.
I'm gonna punch the camera, just kidding.